I'll give out all my secrets because I want everybody to enjoy this.
Usually a lot of people, including me, know is the form of dance in Maharashtra. But in this case, help us understand what a Launi Feni is. Right?
So that's why we have this now, which seems to have sorted out all our cock problems. So you have to come back when there's a secret Feni which I'm working on. As soon as that is ready,
I'm getting that privilege.
You're
Yes,
getting the first tasting.
Done. See, this is what you get when you have a new concept coming in. Hi guys, my name is Pratik Joshi and welcome to another special video of What the Feni. So today we are going to be understanding more about the process of infusions, because when you say Feni, infusions are something that follow right after that. So we are with someone here today to know more nuances and to know more things about infused Fenis overall in general. So here today we are in Assagao, and here we are going to be meeting the maestro behind infusions in Goa, and that is Mr. Clement DeSylva. Clement Bab, welcome to...
I cut in too quickly.
No, don't worry about it.
No, I wanted the Aani Ek branding to be seen at the back.
No, I think it's seen. We'll continue. Clement Bab, it's a pleasure to have you at What the Feni.
Welcome.
So, just to start the overall chats and stuff like that, I think you can basically start with your story and how you are related with Feni.
I love Feni. Always have, always will. You know, it's the best drink in the world. I don't think there's any other drink that comes close.
Right.
And Feni has never got its place on the world stage like it should have got.
Right.
What is Scotch? The local drink of Scotland. What is Sake? The local drink of
Japan.
Tequila?
Mexico.
Feni?
Goa.
Okay?
Absolutely.
Now, if all those things have a place on the world stage,
Yes.
much more deserving and more overdue is the place of Feni on the world stage.
Absolutely.
Which is our dream, to take Feni to the world. Because
Lovely.
there can be no nicer liquor for anybody to have.
Yes. Also, since we missed out on your t-shirt, can we show the people the t-shirt? So Clement Bab's brand is Aani Ek, which is heavily and most prominent in terms of infusions.
Right.
So this is the first time, that maybe people are hearing about Feni infusions. What is it all about? So what would you like to share as, a brief?
Yeah. So here's the deal. It's nothing new.
Okay.
I'm sure you all also must have had one cupboard of kitchen cupboard, one bottle of Feni.
Yeah.
Into which he would have put tikki and cloves and everything.
Yes.
And then when somebody was sick, it would be pulled out. 1 teaspoon would be taken
Correct.
out. And if you were below drinking age, a match would be applied to it. Lovely blue smoke, all the blue flame, all the lights would be put off. You'd enjoy that blue flame, and then you were giving that to drink.
Yeah.
The alcohol was burnt off, so you didn't get drunk. But all the medicinal properties of that were still there.
Yes.
And that was infusion.
Right.
Which has been going for hundreds of years. I mean, I'm sure if Feni itself is now close to 500 years old, infusions must be 499 years old.
Absolutely right.
So it's nothing new.
Yes.
Okay, and this happens all over the world with whatever the local liquor is. You go into Croatia and places, people are making infusions with apple and oranges, and
wow.
If you go to Himachal, they are doing the same thing. If you go to Kerala, they are putting spices into their arak. It's a very, very intrinsic nature of man that to experiment with something he likes,
right,
and make 1 + 1 not 2 but 4 or 5.
Right.
So you take the Feni, you take your infusion material, and you have something which is more than the sum of
Right.
both of them.
Fair enough. So since we are talking about infusions and maybe regular Feni, normal Feni, I want to know, so many people they say, infusion, what is the big deal? Take something, put it inside, finish. So if you can tell how tedious is the process, what all goes into making that infusion?
So it's not tedious at all, but you cannot just take it and put it inside.
Yeah.
For an infusion to actually, infusion is a two-way street. Something is going in, something is coming out.
Right.
For that to happen, it takes time. Like all good things, nothing happens fast.
Absolutely.
It takes time. So you have to take it, put it into the Feni, leave it there, slowly agitate it. Our infusion process takes close to a month, sometimes more than a month. Depending on what infusion we are doing. In each bottle of our lemon Feni, we have the zest of 25 to 30 lemons, only the zest, for us to get that lovely lemony flavor and the clarity of the liquor.
Right. So just a question here, since we are going with the process slowly, the infusion, usually many people say that sometimes it happens while second distillation when you're getting the Feni, and sometimes Feni is overall taken and the infusion.
So that's not infusion.
Okay.
So there are two. Infusion is when how you make tea.
Right.
Tea is an infusion.
Oh, okay.
Tea is an infusion.
Right.
What you're talking about is the potli method.
Okay.
You take the whatever material you want to add to the feni,
Right.
tie it in a potli, put it on the batti in the barn, and then you do your distillation. So as the fumes of the feni are rising through that, it absorbs some of the. That is potli method. That is not what we do.
Okay.
We do infusions, because with infusions it's a slower process. It's a much more gentle process.
And when does it occur? Like after the feni is
Yeah,
coating?
we work with, you distill your Caju juice, you get urak, you distill urak, you get Feni.
Yeah.
So your ABV is then 42.5% of for Feni. That Feni we take, and we have 5 suppliers of Feni, Caju
Okay.
Feni. Each of their Feni works best for a different infusion.
Nice.
And then we add our infusion material. We've got these big tanks,
Right.
which we put our infusion material, gently agitate it, only in a clockwise direction.
Wow. Don't give out your secrets.
I'll give out all my secrets, because I want everybody to enjoy this. It's very, very simple. It is time consuming, it is tedious, because then we've got to filter it and all of that there. But it's not rocket science.
Yeah.
It's very simple. Stick to the basics and do it cleanly.
So now, if you can help me understand basically the differences between 3 things. One is a normal Caju Feni, an infused Feni which you get local, and an Aani Ek bottle. What is the difference? How would you differentiate Aani Ek from the regular infused that you get?
So you don't get regular infused Feni.
Uh-huh.
No, you can't get it commercially. You might get it for your own supply
Yes.
from a family member.
Yes.
That, of course, is exactly the same as this.
Right.
There is no difference.
Right.
Okay.
And one thing I'll add is, since I have consumed Aani Ek Feni, the ones that you get for your local use are jeera, cinnamon, very basic spices that we usually have in the market. But Aani Ek has cracked, I think, something totally different that we'll be getting to in some time. But I want you to talk more about it.
No, I'm very flattered that you think we have cracked something very different. But what we have done is taken an tradition which is hundreds of years old,
Right.
and just done it on a larger scale.
Right.
The process is the same.
Yeah.
Everything is the same, and we have a label on the bottle, and we have a brand, because people should recognize it.
Right.
There's a recognizability. So if they want an infused Feni, you go out and ask for Aani Ek, you're sure you're getting the right thing.
So now, since we're talking about Aani Ek, when you decided to start maybe a Feni brand, how did you first decide that I want to start a Feni brand and work on infusions and sell infusions? Because the first anything that was available in the market, the overall perception of people when it comes to Feni is a clear drink.
Right.
And when they would see Aani Ek, and it was written Feni, they would be like, "Arey, colored mare, rang asa mare." So then, how did you first of all think that starting a Feni brand, doing infusions, and changing that whole perception, because it's a huge thing to educate?
No, so actually, it didn't happen that way. It happened in reverse.
Okay.
First, I was working on infusions.
Okay.
I on a trip to Italy, I discovered limoncello,
Okay.
and I came back and I started making something called Feni Cello, which was in 2010.
Oh wow. Okay.
Then I kept experimenting. In fact, at one time, me and my 2 daughters, they each had their infusions. They made their own infusion,
Wow.
what they wanted, and my infusion, and we would try it out and mix it and, try different things. And then people kept telling me, why don't you, how much are you going to give us for free? Because they would ask me, and I'd say, here's a bottle. I mean, it's too tedious for you to make. But we want to give it to friends.
Yes.
So I said, chalo. We started. I asked 2 friends of mine who'd come on board as partners for the branding and sales and all of that. And then we went to a gentleman called Pratik Joshi for the caps.
Yeah.
And Pritesh said, I also want to be a part of this.
Wow, lovely.
And Pritesh today is our largest stakeholder.
Wow.
Angel investor. And Jill and Kalail are my 2 buddies who came up with the name Aani Ek, and handle all the social media, marketing,
For the people
sales.
who don't know what Aani Ek means, what is Aani Ek according to you?
Okay. Ek, Aani Ek. You'll hear it everywhere. You go to buy Nuste and Nuste wala, Aani Ek di. For everything. One more for everything. Whether you want an Aani Ek poi jai.
Now we'll move to the taverna inside. You want to show us your collection, your bottles?
Yeah, so we'll move there where I can show you the various infusions which we have.
Definitely.
And then you can do a tasting.
Definitely, for sure. Right, so since we are here now with Clement Bab for a small tasting session, before we go to the tasting session, this is something that I found amusing in your taverna. So if you can tell us a bit more about this, Clement Bab.
So this is Neuwood. It's a mashi plant, bush so to speak, which if you, you can look right down the
barrel,
so to speak. And this is the connector, which when you're doing your distillation from your barn into your distillation bath, the fumes of Feni go through this and then it's condensed.
Wow.
So there is a flavor that this imparts to the end product, to the Feni.
The pure drinkers of Feni and Urrak, they will sometimes take the Feni like this, they'll smell it and they'll be like, "Haka stilacho vas yeta, haka zangacho vas yeta, to aka yucha na."
Yeah. So this is normally connected from the old days. Launi Feni was made, which was earthen pot to earthen pot.
Correct.
And there is a taste.
Correct.
You know, you literally taste Goa because it's going from mud to mud and through the Neuwood.
Yes.
Okay. Then you have the copper barn, which again has a metallic taste, which is different from but a lot of people have now come to prefer the barn taste to the Launi taste. You know, because they are familiar with that, and you always find comfort with the familiar.
Right.
Okay. And now people are also, unfortunately, some people are using aluminium, which is not so good.
Absolutely.
So, well, Launi was simpler. Because the Launi didn't cost. Today, Launi, the cost of a Launi, 2 Launi pots to do Launi Feni is almost as much as the cost of the barn by volume.
Since you know many people, the only Launi that usually a lot of people, including me, know is the form of dance in Maharashtra. But in this case, help us understand what a Launi Feni is.
A Launi.
Already you told it,
Launi, so that is Lavani, I think, the Maharashtra. I think it's Lavani, right? Lavani. But ours is Launi, Launi.
Okay.
Okay, Launi Feni. So it's a pot, and you put your mash into this first pot, and there is a this Neuwood connector which connects it to the second pot. This pot is kept under a very, very slow flame, and this is sealed. This is sealed with something called Ronachi Matti, which is the mud from ant hills.
Yes.
You know, because if it's fine enough to go into an ant's mouth, you can imagine how fine it is. Because nothing should leak out.
Correct.
Because if there's a gap, then the Feni Dua will go out from the side. It has to go through this.
Yes.
And in this pot, where the fumes are coming out, there is, the woman would sit with that between her legs, and she would have a bath of water next to her with a coconut shell.
And
she would continuously pour. So the minute you see on the pot that it gets little dry, the color changes, because the dampness is going, immediately you have to put water in there. Because that is a fully sealed system. Now, if you don't keep that pot cool, and the temperature builds up too much, because the gas will build up temperature when it liquefies it, there's a pressure drop. If it builds up too much, the whole pot can blast. And blast means you have sharp pieces of terracotta flying everywhere. It can blind you, kill you, so it's a very, very dangerous process, and you really have to know what you're doing for that.
Yes.
And as soon as that distillate is over, you've got to take out, dismantle the whole system, wash it out, clean it out, and then start again.
Absolutely.
And the Launi pot will hold maybe 16 and a half, 1 corso of mash.
Yeah.
So
it's a huge tedious
it's
process.
a very tedious process. So now, in the interest of speeding up the production process, the barn makes it much easier.
Absolutely right.
So Launi is the pot process, and most commercial Feni today, even connoisseurs, artisanal Feni is barn based.
Right. So since we have got this out of the way by speaking about it, now coming to your masterclass or your flavors. So you can tell us a bit more about
flavors, not flavors.
Yeah, sorry, infusions. You can,
because flavors imply
you mix something in
essence.
Yeah. Right.
You're just taking essence and rubbing it in. And this was the tragedy of Feni, that people bought ENA and just put Caju essence into it. Okay, so with Feni, what we have is, we've got a regular Feni, which is uninfused, just regular Feni, which comes in at...
Right. So for the people who say that Aani Ek only makes infused Fenis, no, they make a regular premium cashew Feni as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, continue.
So that's okay. So then we start off with the regular Feni. This is our Chilli Feni.
Right.
Nothing more than taking the chilies, washing them out to get all the mud and dirt of the fields and everything off it. We keep the stalk on. We make sure that the chili is whole; it's not split, so that the seeds can come out. Drop the chili into the Feni. Gently agitate it. Hand agitated. We don't use agitators because that breaks the seeds out, and it becomes very pungent without giving us this beautiful golden color. Which
lovely. So how would you recommend someone drink this?
Okay, so this one, what does chili go well with? When did you eat guava?
Guava and takati, mirchi powder.
Boy.
Yeah.
Kairi.
Yes. Again,
so,
little bit mirchi powder.
So that is exactly it. Whatever mirchi goes well with, Now you take it in its liquid form, add your dash of Aani Ek to that, put a little dressing, add a dash of soda, because most of the juices which you get, if you're using fresh natural juice, you don't need to add anything else.
Right.
But if you're using a synthetic juice, then it's advisable to put a dash of soda into it to cut the sweetness.
Right. So let's say that if we have a guava juice, a little dash of soda, 30 ml or 60 ml of Aani.
Correct.
What would you recommend? 60 or 30?
Depending on how your glass, if you're having a highball glass, I would go with 60 ml.
Done.
I would go with 60 ml. Put a dash of your guava juice into that. Top it up with soda. Drop a cube of ice into that. Before starting, rim your glass with a combination of salt and chili powder.
Wow.
Okay.
Lovely.
And then this thing, and what we do is, one of the byproducts of getting Chilli Feni, this is Chilli Infused Feni. A byproduct is Feni Infused chilies.
Wow. I mean, that is some level of thinking.
Yeah. So that Feni Infused chili makes a lovely garnish for the drink. You just drop one of those chilies into your drink. So this is chili. This is a honey cinnamon.
Okay.
My daughter called it apple pie in a glass.
Wow.
Because around Christmas time you have this cold, but otherwise this as you put a dash of apple juice into this and a dash of soda, and again it's very good. But it also goes very well with tonic water.
Okay.
So
60 ml of Aani Ek, honey and cinnamon with tonic water.
So for the exact percentages, this is our QR code over here.
Okay. So yes,
on the side of the bottle, it's on all the bottles.
Yes.
And you go to the QR code and go to a section which we have there called how to drink, and all the recipes are listed there, and we go on adding to that.
Oh, lovely.
So that as we come out with new infusions, new recipes for old infusions, it's always updated.
Done. So if you can tell us a bit about the branding as well,
Yeah. So the branding, so as I said, the name, my partner Jill came up with the name, Aani Ek. And at that time we were three of us, so they had these 3 dots for the 3 of us.
Oh, lovely.
And then we had a 4th motto cover. So now we are 4, but we just stuck to the 3 dots. So this is between Jill and Carlyle.
Okay.
My partners.
And any particular meaning of these 2 leaves?
These are local Goan, well, not local, but very common Goan garden plants. Now, and it's you get a tropical feeling when you see this monstera leaf, because we want to say that we are.
And you have a typical cashew.
And of course a Caju, the Caju seed.
Yes.
Perfect.
So this is a question because I saw the label in black and white. Any chance in the future we might see a colored label for Aani Ek?
Hold that thought. This is the branding we used for our export order. We in Macau and Australia already.
Okay.
And we wanted differentiation from the local label. So as you can see, the color adds to it. Of course, there's a classicness. This bottle is a little battered. It's my sampling, not sampling bottle. So gets pushed around a bit. But there you have it.
Lovely. Amazing. So there is a chance that maybe you will find a Aani Ek bottle which is colored.
So at this point in time, we didn't want to take away from the fact that the color coding that we have on the bottle itself. You're actually a better person to talk to would be Carlyle. My partner who handles all the branding, so he designed the labels. But the color that he has put over here, each of them have that color code.
Color, right.
So if we put other color in, then the way this pops will be different. It won't be as much in your face. So you don't want to go home and decide that chili is my favorite flavor, but oh damn, I picked up lemon.
Or sometimes you ask someone else who doesn't know much about,
and he brings you the wrong thing.
Yes,
correct. So just to minimize that, this helps.
Right. So that's honey cinnamon.
That's honey cinnamon. We did our chili, and this is our lemon.
So is this something of your lemon
hangover from the limoncello Feni? But limoncello has a sweetness to it. You add sugar syrup to it, so we didn't want that. But if you look at the clarity, it's wonderful clarity. In this bottle is the zest of 25 to 30 lemons, depending on the size of the lemon.
I'm guessing this without any lemons, just put it in limca and go for it.
I actually am not a big fan of putting limca to it.
Okay, so what would you recommend?
Because when you put limca to anything, the limca is so sweet and overpowering in its taste that the essence of this is lost.
Yes. So in this case, what would you recommend?
Ginger ale.
Oh wow. Okay. And
tonic water.
Okay.
Something which is more neutral, which is a nice mixer.
So let the drink do its thing.
Exactly. You should be able to appreciate those nuances of the drink itself, as opposed to limca has so much sugar in it.
Now this is a question that I just thought of, since we are talking about different flavors of Aani Ek. Different infusions of Aani Ek. So my question here is, what is so typically the shelf life for a Feni? There is no shelf life as such. It's 4-5 years. it's not a big deal. But in this case, since you are commercially making it, putting a label onto it, and it's going into multiple countries, different liquor outlets throughout Goa, throughout the country, throughout the world. So is there a shelf life to it? If yes, how long?
So Feni, the older it gets, the better it gets.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's overall for alcohol.
Well, with some alcohols, in fact, with most alcohols, there is no perceivable change. It just stays the same.
But many people, they say for Scotch and all, the older it is, the better it tastes.
So that is older when it's aged in a wooden barrel.
Oh.
So then it'll, your Shivas will say aged for 12 years, aged for 7 years, Old Monk will say 7 years or 5 years or whatever. With Feni, even if it's in a glass bottle, it changes for the better.
Okay.
And nobody's been able to understand how and why this happens.
Okay.
Various, as I told you, Regan Hendricks of Ria Distilleries, Hansel of Cazulo. Of course, let me pay tribute to the father of Feni, Valentino Vaz. Cedric and Mac Vaz, his father, who started Goa's first branded Feni, Big Boss. Amazing. What he did for Feni, nobody else has done. But we stand on the, Guru Dutt Bakhtar, who has Kaskar, Hansel with Cazulo, Regan with Ria, Solomon Denise with Tinto, now Harsh with Harsh and his sister with Goan Feni, Patrao, Yash Savardekar, Patrao Feni. There are so many Fenis that have come out. Feni and Caju and Co.
Yes, Caju and Co.
And it's wonderful because we really, it's a job which is more than what one single brand can do.
Yes, absolutely.
It has to be a joint effort by everybody.
Right. Multiple people have to come towards working towards the same goal.
And they are. And people then realize that Feni is not, all Fenis are not equal.
Yeah.
Some will be drier, sweeter,
It's based on your liking. It's like it's very similar to like a single malt or like a whiskey. Everyone has a different palate.
I'd like to say better.
Better, absolutely.
So, as I said, the older it gets, the better it gets. Mm-hmm. And the only thing you have to watch out for is don't keep it in direct sunlight.
Right.
Because if you keep it in direct sunlight, because there is no artificial coloring added to this, anything natural will fade in sunlight. So the color then changes. It bleaches the color out of it.
Like, if someone is taking this back, let's say someone is traveling to Goa for a holiday, they fall in love with Feni, they pick up a bottle of Aani Ek, they're flying back, obviously they put it in their luggage and it reaches back to their home. Now where do they store it? Do they tie a cloth or something?
No need at all. Just keep it in the, in your bar. You keep it open. It doesn't even need to be inside a cupboard.
Right.
You just keep it on a shelf, it's fine. Just see that it's not exposed to any strong direct light.
Yes.
That's all you need to do. And no heat, nothing.
Right. So now coming to some infusions which you have got only in your personal bar.
These are under development, as I said.
Yes. So tell us a bit more about this, because I can read the label, but the people reading it might not know about it. So this says Aani Ek Infused Feni Ambade. So if you can help people understand, what is Ambade?
Ambade is hog plum. It's called hog plum.
Right.
I don't know what hog plum means, because I nobody's ever held it up to me and said this is a hog plum.
Yeah.
Ambade.
Ambade.
That's it.
You go to any market in Goa, you tell any Goan, I love Ambade or Ambade Humandi or something, and people love it.
Exactly. Yes. And unfortunately it's seasonal. So we've got Ambade, we've got Solante, Kokum.
Yeah.
Just look at the color of this. Yeah.
So just for those
beautiful color.
For those people who don't know what is Kokum goes in anything and everything that Goans use, from our curries to our fish to our curries, fish,
Soul
drinks, you name it. Even you have sometimes dried kokum with a little bit of sugar, you eat it directly, kids eat it. And kokum is a great digestive,
absolutely,
is a gut healer. And if you are in Goa and if you don't know what is kokum, then I would say ask anyone about kokum and you'll get it.
Just go to the market, go to Mapsa market and buy a kilo of kokum and use it for everything.
Yes, it is amazing.
You'll get salted and you'll get unsalted.
Yes, and you will get dried, you will get salted dried, you will get unsalted, you will just get kokum in everything.
And in season you get fresh, which is the best.
And now Aani Ek, you have a kokum Feni as well.
Yeah, so we haven't launched these yet.
Yes.
These are all to be launched in the process. But I have to say that my friend Atish Fernandez of Joseph's Bar came up with a wonderful cocktail using Tamde Rosa.
Yeah.
You know that,
Right.
Really lovely. I love the name.
So was Tamde Rosa the origins for this Feni?
I don't really recollect, but which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Excellent answer to a very smart question. And if since Clement Bob is commenting on people trying it out, try a flavor. If you have good success with it, meet Clement Bob. You can write to him. He will put it into production.
Surely, not a problem at all. Please, I'd be more than happy to do that.
Done. And finally, we have one bottle.
Before we get there, Cavatina, you know this chef Avinash.
Yes.
Avinash Martins. He is doing also some very, very nice infusions. If you go into Cavatina, there are a whole bunch of jars which he has behind the bar where they have their own infusions going.
Oh, lovely.
You
then
know? So
one day I need to plan that for sure.
You should plan it. And of course, Avinash's food is
amazing.
Spectacular.
Amazing. Yes.
So, like Avinash does first food, we after Aani Ek, the market, there have been various bars which have been very supportive of infused Fenis.
Right,
and
absolutely.
And Anand of Pablo's, Anand and Terence of Pablo's. I mean, they have been so supportive.
Yeah.
Our first ever bar takeover happened over there.
Lovely.
But the cocktails which they've churned out with Aani Ek, then there's another woman called Sandra Girardi who runs Amber Cocktail Bar at Morji Beach. The passion which she crafts each cocktail. She gets in there at 3:30, 4 o'clock every evening, and she's prepping for till 7, till the bar opens, 6:37. And the nitrogen and the flowers, and when the drink comes to your table, you almost don't want to drink it because it just looks so beautiful.
Great, yes.
But when you taste it, of course, it's another world. A Kanak of Susie's.
Yeah.
Kanak State of Susie's. Again, the kind of cocktails which they are creating is outstanding. A Boilermaker.
So somewhere these are the ambassadors of Feni, because if these guys don't take initiative, then somewhere that image of Feni is not portrayed to the world.
A small bottle which goes very well at weddings. People have used it in gift hampers and giveaways on the table. All of that. I mean, at the bar, of course, we have, quite a few weddings have happened where they've had a separate Aani Ek bar at the wedding.
Wow.
Because traditionally, even in Goa, I'm sorry to say that Feni was not always looked up to the way it should be.
Yes.
So you drank your Feni, you enjoyed it very much, but at a wedding, you didn't serve it.
Yeah. Because weddings were always for black label.
Exactly.
Speaking about black label, we have something in a transparent bottle which is of black color. So this is, I think,
I'll give you a taste.
Yeah,
and then
I think you can pour a little bit here. It's already there. You can pour a little. Yeah, okay, that's okay.
Chari? Are get it.
There's Aani Ek here. Right. So please. For all of those, cheers, and that's the liquid. Cheers. South. Amazing. The flavor is coffee. So I'm hoping very soon this comes out properly packaged on a shelf that people can buy, and this with vanilla ice cream will kill. I'm telling you that.
Thank you so much.
I think this should be a Goan dessert.
Lovely.
Coffee Feni with or maybe vanilla ice cream infused with nice coffee.
Just drizzled
yeah,
on top.
My God.
But even for an espresso martini.
Wow, yes.
An espresso Feni tini.
Yes. Coming to, while we were going on the bar, this is Clement Bob's collection of his journey with the bottle cork.
So this was our first cork which we got made. There was a gentleman called Guru Chari in Moira, whom my friend David D'Souza, the photographer, introduced me to, and he used to hand turn these on a manual lathe machine out of jackfruit wood. Because
if you can tell the people how much did it cost you?
It used to cost us more than the cost of the bottle was the cost of the cap, because in lockdown we could get nothing. Everything was shut, so whatever we had to get was all local.
Yeah.
Even the laser etching which we did was from just down the road at 4 Roads, Assagao. There's a place called JRD Laser Cutting, who used to do the laser cutting for us. Right. But unfortunately, because you don't have that springiness that cork has, it would leak. So we had to, as soon as supply chains opened up, we moved to this cork, which was a wooden cork with a agglomerated insert. Again, not the best in the world, because it comes from Portugal, the cork. Then we had this cork with the natural, this one. This is not agglomerated but full natural cork, which was good. It worked, but the cork sometimes tends to break. And we want our Feni that even if you keep it in your cupboard for 50 years, you pull it out after 50 years and it should be good to go. So we finally moved to this insert, which is a synthetic insert, but nothing happens to it, and it really seals very well. and we had the top with wood. Unfortunately, the wood used to be imported from Canada, so but after some time that blackens and you get fungus on the wood. So now we moved to a fully synthetic cork, which you can see on that coffee Feni bottle. I'll just
So I think this is a journey.
It's a journey, So this gives us this cork.
So why you had to go for a full synthetic bottle? You can also because you're exporting it.
So places like Australia and New Zealand are very, very particular. No, also I don't want my customer, even locally, to be faced with a cork that looks like this. Which is what happens over time. It deteriorates with the moisture and all of that. Fair. It should be as good.
Lasting.
Long lasting.
Right.
So that's why we have this now, which seems to have sorted out all our cork problems.
Pun intended.
Back to where it started from, which is plain Feni.
Yep.
Let's do a.
We are driving, so
I'll just do very little. Okay. A tribute to all the Feni cars, all the bath cars, everybody who goes out, gathers the Caju,
Absolutely.
and has kept this to the Portuguese who brought the Caju from Brazil to Goa. But
then for the Goan, some Goan who took that cashew apple and made it.
So there was, alcohol was always done over here with coconut. Madachi Soro.
And since initially I had that conversation with you where initially even all over my grandfather's generation, all the oldies, they always say that, Caju. There's cannot Feni mandande. They will always say Caju.
Absolutely right.
So that is, so what is your take on that?
So my personal take is that if you say Feni, you're talking about Caju.
Right.
You're not talking about anything else. Coconut alcohol is Madachi Soro. And should be referred to as such. If you say Feni, we are talking about Caju liquor made from Caju apple.
Right.
And that is it.
Right. So just a point to note is many people sometimes they get confused. People. They ask that since Aani Ek comes with infusions and usually their understanding is that coconut gives infusion. So all Aani Ek infusions are purely 100% cashew.
So even traditionally, Caju was used for infusions. Coconut was also used for infusions.
Correct.
But coconut was never referred to as Feni.
Right. Okay.
You had Caju Feni. Feni, if you said Feni, you meant Caju.
Right.
And Madachi Soro was coconut liquor.
Right.
That was it. Right. Infusions were made with both. Infusions are made with gin, vodka, everything else. So it's not so much the infusion. But when you drink Aani Ek, at the base of it, you can taste the full-bodiedness of Caju Feni.
Yes.
That. Whereas Madachi Soro has a very clean taste, but to my mind, personal view, there's no character.
Right. Okay.
It's just alcohol.
See, everyone has their own right to have a personal opinion. So that's totally okay.
Yeah.
So right, let's move to the shot.
Chari. To all the guys who have gone before, Valentine Vaz, Cedric,
Cheers.
Mac,
Cheers. Hansel, Solomon, Yash,
Denise,
to
Yash,
all the people involved who are making such a great thing.
Bakhtar, everybody.
Yes. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Wow. If there's a normal Feni, there's an infused Feni, which one should I go for? So obviously it depends on the person. I would say that please don't restrict yourself. Correct. Go out there, try. And so one major thing that I have a problem with overall people is that we somehow are not okay failing. We should go and you should be okay trying out something, not liking it, moving on to the next one.
Absolutely.
That is how I think you should go ahead with your alcohol, with your infusions. Correct. And by trying different things, because until you try, you have actually failed because you have not tried it.
Absolutely.
Right?
Which is worse than failing.
Not trying, absolutely. Not trying is worse than failing. So with that, this is I think dedicated to all the Feni lovers, to all the people who are not afraid of failing. So yes, so thank you so much, Clement.
Lovely dedication.
Yes, so I think we are covering a lot of all these things with What the Feni. So that's it for this video, guys. I think we'll be coming back with you with a much more and similar concepts, similar episodes where we talk about different things. Today it was mostly about infusions. Tomorrow it might be about something else. So thank you so much for tuning into this video, and
So you have to come back when there's a secret Feni which I'm working on. As soon as that is ready, You have
I'm
to
getting
come
that
back.
privilege.
You're
Yes,
getting the
yes.
first tasting.
Done. See, this is what you get when you have a new concept coming in. So thank you so much, guys. I'll be seeing you for the next video. So until then, be happy, stay safe, and take care of your loved ones. Dev bare karo. Thank you.
Okay, folks, you can see this WTF. You all know what that means.
Yeah.
But here doesn't mean what you're thinking of. It stands for What the Feni. Okay? Like, share, and subscribe.
Done.
De bore karo.
See you. Thank you so much, guys. See you soon.